Okay, it's time to start looking at this dirt bike, see if it is repairable or not, or if we will be parting it out is the question. I need to remove the engine cover, drain the oil, and get to where the timing chain is. If you were to watch that video quite a few months ago, I was investigating what was the issue, and it seemed like that timing chain is a little bit loose, and I think it might be piling up at the bottom because off of the crank there's your gear, and then there's like a little chain guide, and I think the chain may be binding up on that. Either that, or there could be something internally wrong, or the timing can be out and a valve could be hitting the piston, which is why we're locking up. There's many variables, but this is where we got to start. And I just got the battery charger on right now because I thought I disconnected the battery, but I didn't. And I just want to make sure that it's charged up. But looking at this, looks like the gear selector is going to have to come off. This guard's going to have to come off so we can access this cover. And I don't think I have the proper flywheel puller either. I have a flywheel puller set, but I don't think it's the one that I'm going to need. I'm going to try this tool out on this job, so I guess I better get it out of the box. Pick this up from Home Depot on sale. I've already had it out of the box once to look at it. This is it, right here. I do have a 6 amp hour battery that's on the charger, but oh, looks like that one's almost dead. New tool. Time to put it to work. I've already noticed this Yamaha is using weird metric sizes like 14, 12 mil. So this bash guard has to come off, and we got a 10 mil there, and then we got a 12 there, and then this should just come completely out. Take that bracket off, switch out to my 12 mil. Yeah. Bracket is going to come off. As such, that part is good. It looks like it's a little rough shape there, but it's an M8. Just removing the screw completely. Pay attention how it's lined up, and theoretically it should just come off. In theory, it should have just slid out. Get my pry bar. There we go. Let's go ahead, get that oil dropped. So that is the oil drain in there, and it's a M12. I removed the cover, so you probably don't even need to remove these, but I'm just going to take all those out right now anyways. This would be if you're aligning up your timing and stuff. I'll take that off, get that O-ring out with it. Perfect. All the case bolts are M8s. And start by removing that one first. I feel, yeah, there's something with this. It's coming. If I can just get in there. There we go. Oh, it looks like it's in good shape too. Now, we got one bolt in there, and we should be able to get this cover off. Get that bolt out, and it's shorter than the rest of them. So now, theoretically, this should start to come off. Starter nose cone is like the only thing holding us up. Take some PB Blaster, spray it in there, see if that helps. It's coming. It's just that nose cone out there. There we go. So I don't have the right puller for this one. I need the puller that's gonna have the attachment to go over top of that stud there, and then threads on this base. And then pulls her back. The ones I got are internal. These are the ones I got. None of those ones will work because they're all internal. One thing you want to pay attention to is there's a washer that goes on there. Fuck, Butterfingers, man. I don't know what the hell it is. Fish it out. Anyways, that washer goes there. So I'm just gonna take this out now and put everything in a bag. Well, that's it for right now. Till I get the proper puller, and then I can pull it off. Hello. Hi. What are you doing? You want some pets? Hi. I know. Carmen's. Hi. You're so talkative. And you love to bite. I know. Go for the attack. Go for the attack. That's your thing. That's your thing. Or yes, it is. Rawr. Belly rolls. Belly rolls. Touch the belly. Touch the belly. Not a chance, eh? Not a chance. So in the freeze dryer, I got a different combination here. Top shelf, can't see. I want to do some freeze dried pickles, and then the all-time favorite, ice cream sandwiches. So it's like minus 20 something outside, and usually every week I like to take all the vehicles out and drive and make sure the battery stays charged. And of course, went to go start up shit show, and right away, check engine light. Again, I don't know, I'm getting kind of tired of it, to be honest with you. I think that JK is definitely going to be on the chopping block for this spring. Get rid of it. And I'll just have my Cherokee and my Ram 1500 because I'm getting tired of it. So I'm going to go out there and see what the hell that engine code is. Oh, be no fires this set of days off. Too freaking cold. And there's shit show. Let that boot up. P0456. Small evap leak. Well, that's nothing serious. Small leak in the evap system somewhere. This passenger side valve cover's got to come off again anyways, because I need to have a look at it and swap it out. I already got a new one. I believe I got the proper flywheel puller, so we're going to come back, have a look at that tomorrow. It's too cold right now. Just seems like every time I turn around, there's something wrong with the Jeep. Maybe I should just get a Gladiator. Maybe that might be the better solution. Took the Jeep to the grocery store, says it's minus 16. It's actually minus 20 out. Feel sorry for the construction workers working outside in this cold. I remember when I used to work in the oil patch, working outside, minus 30, minus 40. I don't miss that shit at all. Got the furnace going today with it being minus 20 outside. Now we're going to do the reveal where we pop that off and see what's going on with the chain behind that. I have a couple pullers. I was just looking at the new passenger side valve cover for the Jeep 3.6. Gonna replace that, or start to replace that in my next set of days off. There's the PCV section where it's leaking from. I got two pullers for the bike. This one, I'm gonna need this one. So once I remove that nut, you see the big threads in behind there. Came off. Is there a washer or anything? Nope. There actually is a washer. And now I go ahead and pull that off. So what you're gonna see are the threads in there. It's gonna go on. Just a little finicky. Want to make sure you get some good threads. Thread that in by hand. So I got a 7/8 wrench to hold it. 17 mil. There we go. It popped. So now we can pull this off. Let's see if I can grab it. There we go. I was kind of hoping there'd be something more along the lines, more obvious than I would see. So now, yeah, because right now I'm in a position where it's not going to roll over. I just put the nut back on it. Just spinning the engine backwards right now. You can see how gibbled that chain is. And then something sticks. So that's following the key. One rotation. As it comes up to second rotation. I wonder if we have a bad valve. I wonder if that's what the issue is. If we're having a valve coming down at the piston. The only way to really figure out that is to, I could theoretically remove the chain, remove the cams, or just remove the chain, yeah, and remove the cams. They'll set all the valves to 0 and see. I could also put the borescope in the locked position, because the borescope has the 90-degree camera as well, and I'll be able to see if a valve's dropped or if there's something eternally is locked up. Anyways, doesn't matter. We're gonna get down to the bottom of it. Worst case scenario, we'll just part it out. I have some ideas. I'm gonna have to look deeper into 3 ones right off the bat, since I thought for sure that the chain was piling up, but seems to lock up in the same position all the time. So I need to know where the location of the piston is, where it locks up. Is it something internal with the transmission? Do I have to revisit the decompression? Or has a valve dropped and it's hitting the piston at that spot? But when I had the borescope in the first time, there wasn't any evidence on the top of the piston of something hitting. So that's where my thinking is right now. I'm going to let that sit because I am heading to Rocky Mountain House tomorrow morning. Gonna visit Fedor. Gonna have a look at my old TJ, see what it's looking like. And then when I come back and next set of days off, I'm going to work on the Jeep. So I'm going to be going back and forth between the Jeep and the dirt bike probably for a good chunk of the winter, because there's lots of things I have for the Jeep that I haven't installed yet. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I met up with Fedor at Rival Trade Brewery. Awesome brewery, by the way. If you're in the area, highly recommend checking it out. And after doing some things in the day, was over at his house, had a look at the old TJ, sitting in the cold snow, just chilling. Oh, it's a beautiful morning in the Rocky Mountain House. Stayed at the Walking Eagle Inn. Super nice hotel. It was nice to come up here and visit Fedor and his girlfriend. Had a look at my old TJ. This is a nice town. It's like the last point of civilization before you hit the wilderness. Lots of oil and gas and forestry here. Hello, Miss Carmen's. How are you? Are you just gonna chill in your little bed I made you in the closet? Because that's where you love to stay. Hello. Do you want to say hi to the people? Do you? Are you gonna choose violence? Hello.